Do you think that Western society as a whole is too tolerant of religious extremism or those dangerous parts of religion which you identify?
Well, I think there is a tendency for us nice liberal people to bend over backwards to be, I never want to knock tolerance, because tolerance clearly is a virtue, but I do think that there's a problem with liberal nice people being so used to the idea that they should be nice to religion, and because most of the religious people we meet are actually nice. I mean, they're bishops and vicars and people who are delightful, charming people, but by treating what they preach with exaggerated respect, what we are in effect doing is making the world safe for those who wish to do very bad things on the basis of their faith. We're teaching people that faith is a virtue, that it is a virtue to be able to say, I believe X because I believe it, not because there's any evidence for it. Now, all the nice bishops and vicars preach that. And once you've accepted that, once society has accepted that faith is a good reason, an acceptable reason to believe something, then it's very hard for us to argue against those who say, well, my faith tells me to be a suicide bomber. My faith tells me to blow up a building, to shoot somebody, to do something terrible. And I think we've, as it were, sold the past by allowing the idea that faith is a virtuous reason to believe something. Another way to put it is to say that there is a perfectly understandable and even rational logical path that leads from religious belief to doing terrible deeds. It's very far from saying that all religious people do terrible deeds. Of course they don't. But given that you really, really, really believe that, say, Allah wants you to blow something up, you really believe, your imams have told you, your priests have told you, you've believed it from childhood onwards, that the virtuous, righteous, good thing to do is to kill somebody, to be a martyr, then there is a logical pathway that leads from that. The people who blew up the World Trade Center in New York were probably all righteous, I hardly dare say it, but decent people. They actually believed that what they were doing was the right thing to do, and that was because they'd been taught from childhood onwards that the right thing to do was to be a martyr, or whatever it might be. So I do think there's a real danger in putting forward faith as a virtuous reason to believe anything.